Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group F. Our title for this group project is Aluminium Alloy Piston for the automobiles. Okay, our group member is Muhammad Akmal bin Abdul Rabi, Muhammad Amirul Husni bin Muhammad Fazil, Muhammad Izzat bin Muhammad Syafi'i, Alvin Rush, anak lelaki Sawaraju, and myself, Muhammad Syarul Ashraf bin Said. Okay, for the introduction for this project is about piston. Piston is a metal cylinder that move out and down inside a cylindrical housing, receiving or exerting pressure on fluid, usually one of several in an internal combustion engine. It is the main moving component of the carbureting engine and it is confined by a cylinder. A piston is often an inverted bucket-shaped machine to a tight but free-sliding fit in the cylinder barrel. Flexible piston rings that fit tightly in groove turn in the top half of the piston ensure gas tightness. Pistons are applied in many machines to transform one type of energy to another or to move fluids such as air, water, or energy from one location to another. Pistons are present in the engine, brake system, water pump, and air conditioner of automobiles. Okay, pistons are often manufactured of low carbon steel or aluminum alloy. High heat, inertial abrasion, and friction are all applied to the piston. The effects or differential thermal expansion between the piston and cylinder walls are minimized by carbon steel. Aluminium weight advantage of cast iron is offset by necessity for larger portion for strength. For this project, we focus on aluminium alloy piston. Okay, next we move to the project background or aluminium alloy piston. Okay, in the past, grey cast iron was used in automobile piston, followed by soft cast steel and chrome nickel steel material. However, nowadays, aluminium casting pistons are widely used in relative industry, but they have the disadvantages of being prone to damage in high compression and high speed engine. Okay, next we move to the manufacturing process or alloy piston, which is for the project we decide to choose three methods to create an aluminium piston, which is die casting process, CNC machine 5 axis, and sand casting process. Okay, the sustainable element of aluminium alloy piston. Firstly, electrical and thermal conductivity. Aluminium is a conductor that is 2 times more effective as copper in terms of weight. It is frequently used in the most significant power transmission lines since it is good heat and electrical conductor. Next, it is a lightweight. Aluminium is lightweight due to its low density. This makes it the favorite metal for use in the creation of automobile piston. Next, it is recyclable. The ability of aluminium to be 100 recycled is another outstanding quality. Next, the aluminium also resistant to corrosion. Aluminium produce a thin coating of its outside. This ensures that the corrosion causing air and water are prevented from entering the metal. This also gives the metal corrosion resistance, making it more reliable. Okay, next for the problem statement for this project is aluminium alloy are often used in automotive industry. When using this aluminium alloy piston, various problems potentially occur, including corrosion by cooling water, and it also can be crushed out of shape by holding down studs due to the low modulus of elasticity. There are also some issues about the sustainable element in the process to manufacture aluminium alloy piston. Okay, the objective for the assignment is to research and comprehend the manufacturing process for aluminium alloy piston and the sustainable development in manufacturing process for aluminium alloy piston. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Aizat bin Muhammad Shafi'i, matrix number DD 2055, and I will explain about the literature review of the piston. A piston is a main moving component contained in a cylinder. In a machine, the function is to transmit force generated from the expansion of gas in the cylinder to the crankshaft through a connecting rod. In order to achieve a high-performance engine, power per step at higher speeds is necessary to withstand peak mechanical pressure. Pistons are subjected to tremendous mechanical and thermal loads, resulting in massive inertial forces created by fast acceleration during reciprocating motion in the engine cylinder. The piston component in an internal combustion engine emits combustion products such as carbon monoxide and carbon, which are frequently deposited on the piston crown. A good piston material is expected to possess a plethora of mechanical properties. Next, for the design of the piston. The design of an aluminium alloy piston in an engine is an important part in order for the piston working under high operating temperatures and pressures in an engine. The design features of the piston are: have sufficient mechanical strength and stiffness, can effectively block the heat reaching the piston head, high temperature, corrosion resistant, and lastly, the dimensions as compact as possible in order to reduce the weight of the piston. Design of the piston consists of 8 important parts. The first one is the crown, the top end from a complete piston and is exposed in high level to hot gases within the combustion chamber. Next, the second one is the compression rings, a piston ring located in the ring groove closest to the piston head. The compression ring seals the combustion chamber from any leakage during the combustion process. The third one is oil control ring. Oil control rings are located in the bottom piston groove, and their function is to control the supply of oil to cylinder wall, to lubricate the piston skirt and keep excess oil out of the combustion chamber. The fourth one is oil drain holes, located in between the upper and lower control ring. Next, the wrist pin, a hole for connecting the piston to the connecting rod and provides a bearing for the connecting rod to pivot upon as the piston move. The sixth component is piston skirt, a cylindrical walls of a piston. It is to stabilize the piston in the bore and promote the best possible ring seal by preventing the piston from rocking too much. Next, the ring gap, a distance between the two ends of a piston ring in an uncompressed state. And lastly, the ring length, which is two parallel surfaces of the ring groove which function as the sealing surface for the piston ring. Next, the dimension and material of the piston. This part is very crucial in order to manufacturing the piston, because a piston is subjected to high temperatures and pressures during its reciprocation in a cylinder of an internal combustion engine. Must have high strength, high wear resistance and be lightweight. The aluminium alloy of this composition enhances thermal conductivity without increasing the coefficient of thermal expansion, wear resistance, and fatigue strength of the piston reciprocating at high temperature and high speed conditions. In lower power density applications fitted with aluminium piston, the conductivity of the material is high and surface areas in the contact with the linear large enough that the piston can be operated uncooled or with an oil spray directed at the bottom of the piston without exceeding maximum piston temperatures. These are the example of the dimension for the pistons that can be manufactured, which is the piston are designed with features which perform specific functions during engine operation. The piston head or crown receives the majority of the initial pressure and force caused by the combustion process. The piston pin area is exposed to a significant amount of force due to rapid directional changes. It is also subjected to thermal expansion caused by the transfer of heat from the head to the body of the piston. However, the specifications of the piston depend on the amount of power required for the engine.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Amir Husni bin Muhammad Fazir. My metric number is DD200036. Today I will be discussing about the methodology of the piston process. So, for the special or limited edition, our group have decided to use CNC machine 5 axis. The manufacturing of piston suitable for special or limited edition application requires a meticulous and precise methodology. The process involves a number of stages, all of which must be carried out with care and accuracy in order to create a piston that will perform optimally and stand up the demand of the specific application. CNC machine 5 axis is a machine that moves in 5 different directions, which is X-axis, Y-axis, Z-axis, sideways on the X-axis, vertical on the Y-axis and back, and forth on the Z-axis. So, these 5 axes allow this machine to produce more complex geometry. The 5-axis CNC machine is an incredibly versatile tool used in a variety of industries, from automotive to aerospace, and from medical to industry. So, how this machine working? So, before to turn on the machine and control power, user were required to check the machine oil and coolant level and to keep the work area clear of any loose tool or equipment. So, if the machine requires an air supply, ensure that the compressor is turned on and the pressure meets the machine specification. So, the machine will start. Uh, During the machine start, the user need to set the tool offset for each tool uses according to the order listed in CNC program. Next, the facing process on the workpiece is start. After finishing the facing process, turning process was performed and cutting tool number 3 was changed. Next, the ring groove on the workpiece was cut and the cutting number 3 pushed away from the workpiece to perform boring process. Finally, take out the workpiece and the tool out of the spindle. Next, user must clean up after themselves and properly shut down the machine to keep the work area clean and leave the machine and tools in the location and condition specified. Next, the advantage and disadvantages of the CNC 5-axis application. Firstly, the advantage of using 5-axis machining include increased accuracy, greater control, and higher speeds. The ability to program machining centers to precisely match the specification of the part being machined allows for greater precision and accuracy than traditional machining methods. Furthermore, the ability programming multiple axes of motion in one pass allows for faster machining times and greater process control. This can lead to more efficient manufacturing and cost saving. Next, the disadvantage of the CNC 5-axis machine is have a highest initial cost, more complex programming, and greater learning curve. CNC machining centers are significantly more expensive than traditional machining methods. Furthermore, machine program is much more complex and requires experienced personnel to ensure that the machine is programmed correctly. Finally, due to the complex of the programming, the learning curve for operation is much steeper than for the traditional machining methods. Next, sand casting is one of the oldest and most cost-effective methods of producing metal parts and structures. Controlling the structures and properties of green sands and cost is critical for producing high-quality metal parts and structures. Sand casting is also a great way to make small objects at home like piston without the need for expensive equipment. A method for sandcasting based on piston for light duty or medium duty diesel engine comprising the following steps. Firstly, supply a piston pattern, the pattern including a dome and a return bowl. Manufacturing a piston cell mold with a cavity and driver pouring gate at one end of the cell mold and a longitudinal pouring gate that penetrates the cell mold at the other end of the cell mold. Next, stacking a number of cell mold together. Ensure that the cell mold's longitudinal pouring channel attach with one another. Next, transporting the stacking cell mold to pouring area and pouring mortar aluminium alloy into the cell mold through a pouring gate. After a pouring process, cool the cell mold to room temperature before performing sand removal treatment and cleaning the molding sand on the casting surface. Next, solidify the molten metal to sustainably form the piston with the dome and the return bowl without post-cast processing of the piston. Lastly, finishing the process with short blasting machine was used to remove the surface impurities on the piston from the casting. Furthermore, sand casting has some advantages and disadvantages. The primary advantage of sand casting is cost effectiveness. The molds are relatively inexpensive to make and require little to no machining once completed. Sand casting is therefore perfect for do-it-yourself home production because the equipment is accessible. Additionally, sand casting allows for more design flexibility than other casting techniques. The mold can be easily modified to produce complex forms and details. Next, for the disadvantage of sand casting, since the sand molds are less durable than those used in other casting methods, they might not be appropriate for parts that must sustain large loads. Next, is also less accurate than some other techniques. Due to porous nature of the sand mold, some components may be just barely outside of tolerance.
Hello everyone, I'm Havinda son of Suraju here and my metric number is DD200051 and here I'm going to explain about the methodology. So first we're going to see what is manufacturing process of aluminum alloy piston. I'm gonna explain about that. So the invention relates to a method for producing pistons for internal combustion engines by manufacturing an aluminum alloy. Aluminum alloy is lightweight and has a good structural integrity. The lightweight aluminum alloy can be reduced of the overall mass and force necessary to initiate and maintain acceleration of the piston. Three manufacturing process that will be selected suitable to its function, which is mass production, homemade, and limited edition production. So we chose die casting for mass production, and for limited and special we chose CNC machine 5 axis, and sand casting being chose as a homemade production. So next I'm going to explain about what is die casting. Die casting is the process of solid metal are melted and heated to a desired temperature before being poured into a cavity or mold with a proper shape. So different furnace heating temperature may be required for the melting and heating process. So picture below is the process of die casting, which I'm gonna explain after this. So first step for die casting is metal melting. So which is since aluminum has a high melting point, which is 660.2037 Celsius, that can be melted inside the die casting machine directly. So next step we're gonna mold tool mounting and clamping. Maybe it's almost similar to the injection molding. The die casting process also needs a mold tool for casting process. Next step, step 3 is injection or filling. The molten metal is transferred for furnace to die casting machine by a movable ladle. In this stage, the metal will be poured and forced into die casting mold cavity. So next, step 4 is cool and solidification. After the die casting, mold tool is fully filled with molten material and it takes 10 to 50 seconds to cool and solidify. And it also depends on the part structure and size. Next, last part is step 5, part injection. When the mold opens, the casted parts would be ejected off and by ejection pin from die casting and motor. So next I'm going to explain about what is the advantage and disadvantage of the die casting. So first of all, it is fast and cost efficient compared to the other manufacturing process. Next, the process is relatively simple. Simple molten aluminum is ejected into mold, which then cools and hardens into desired shape. So next, it can be completed quickly with a minimal effort, making highly cost effective compared to other methods like machining and fogging. So next, it can be also reused multiple times, and for that the costs are kept low, even the producing large parts. For disadvantages, it requires specialized tool and machinery to achieve high quality results. And next, since aluminum isn't as strong as some other metals like steel and iron, it might not be suitable for specific application where strength and durability are critical factors. So next, due to its low melting point also, compared to other metals like zinc and copper, pure aluminum won't stay molten long enough during the injection phase to fill up more complex shapes, making them difficult. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Akmal bin Abdul Rabi and my metric number is TD 2038. So for my part, I will present about the discussion. In this project, we have 5 category of discussion, which is for the first one is application, and the second one is practically, the third one is economical, the fourth one is social, and the last one is environment. So we continue for the first part, which is the first method. So for the first method, we using the sand casting for the homemade. So the application is to manufacturing a piston sand mold with a cavity and a transverse pouring gate at one end. So for the second one is practically, this sand casting is a flexible method that may be utilized to manufacture both little and huge items. So for the piston, which is just a medium item, so we can use the sand casting for the homemade. And for the third one is economical. So for the economical, the cost of the sand molds used in the sand casting is much less than that of other materials used in a metal casting. So in this sand casting, we're just using the aluminium to make the piston. And for the first one is for the social. The social is key to manufacture of the metal casting is the social element and of the sand casting. Uh, Social means that we not using so many people to make a piston using the sand casting. And the last one is for the environment. So in this environment, the atmosphere should be clear of any chemical that might interface with the bonding between the sand and the molten metal. So this sand casting will not make the environment and do not have a pollution. So we continue for the die casting. In this die casting, for the first one is the application. So the method is squeezing molten metal, often aluminium or zinc, under high pressure into a die cavity that has been cleared to part exact requirement. So to make the piston, then we need to put the aluminium or zinc in the mold and then we compress with high pressure. So the piston will get. So for the second one is practically. So the practically metal will be conformed to a shape of die as it cools, at which point it will be released from the die. So for the economical, die casting is one of the most efficient and cost-effective process for manufacturing metal and component. So for the social die casting is predicted on the notion that we all have some influence over the social position. So to make this piston using the die casting is not many people involved in this method. So for the last one is environment. Manufacturers may lessen the environment effect of die casting by using process like vacuum casting, which remove the needs for high temperature and lowers the quantity of pollutants produced. So in this method, the pollution may be not affected so much by using other method.
So for the last method that we use is the CNC machine 5-axis. So in this application, 5-axis CNC machine, short of equipment is capable of creating very accurate component because its capacity conversion with 5-axis. So by making the piston more accurate. So for the second one is practically the 5-axis CNC machine is their capacity to create a complicated form and precise features that would be hard to accomplish with conventional production techniques. So in this technique, to make the piston CNC machine, but it is a suitable method to make the piston. So for the economical, each axis must be individually programmed, which demands on a professional operator and a certain amount of time. This is the reason why 5-axis machine is more costly. So in this three method that we use, the CNC machine 5-axis is more costly. So for the social, the technology has created new job opportunity for those who require skill and experience to run the machine. So to make this machine run, we need a professional better to run this machine because it use high skill level. So for the environment, it may lead to reduction and emission discharge into the atmosphere. In addition, the accuracy of this component may minimize the amount of waste generated during manufacturing, hence reducing the quantity of garbage transport to landfill and incinerators. So by using this CNC5 machine, we can reduce the raw material that we use to make the piston. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hey, hello, and I'm Harvin again, and I'm gonna conclude our report. So for the conclusion, I'm gonna make in a nutshell. In producing good product, every step has to be taken in its right order, starting from designing the desired product to the material selection. The material need to be considered for a few aspects, which are material availability, cost, and so on, before planning the product. And next, product development and prototype validation are the most important part in the production part. The risk assessment and the goal assessment must be considered thoroughly before starts the detailed process flow. So before reaching the customers, a product need to reach the aspects of product process validation and product design confirmation. So lastly, engineers should be more aware of their selected processes because they should take responsibility of their product before it be in market for the customers. Thank you very much.